Welcome back, and joining us is Mr. David Morgan of the Morgan Report. He is our silver expert. David, how you doing today, buddy?
Well, I'm doing pretty darn good, Alan. Thank you.
Well, silver was up, when I last checked it a few minutes ago, it was up about 87 cents to $21.22 the ounce. Do you think there's more to come, or are we going to hit resistance here in a few more pennies?
Well, all markets ebb and flow, but I just did membership has its benefits, and I just put out an update video where I show the charts and go pretty much into depth, not every little technical indicator, because I don't use most of them anymore. But the point being is that I put in a trade that has an 85% probability, and looks like it's working just fine for us right now.
Well, good deal. So in an environment where the Fed's been printing money with reckless abandon, there is talk, however, for the different Fed governors over the weekend, we're talking about tapering as early as September. We both, I think, are in agreement that it is nothing but talk. What they're calling tapering, first of all, I think we should point out, isn't stop the money printing. It just means perhaps slowing it down. But on the other hand, there's nobody other than the Fed buying the treasuries right now, so it's just talk.
Absolutely true. In fact, Bernanke was kind of embarrassed by making that statement about tapering. The Open Market Committee probably had this idea that, it's time to, be ahead for a change and start to not buy as many treasuries. So he threw that out. I think he threw it out as a trial balloon. What happened was it cratered all the markets, and everybody had a big old tantrum, a little like a bunch of little kids that the punch bowl was taken away from the party. What do you mean you're not going to print? And so he basically came back and kind of, in a kind of mealy-mouthed way, apologized and sort of indicated, well, we're only going to do this when the right time, and blah, 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 blah. So he sort of made this amends, so to speak, to the financial market. So what happened when he did that? What happened was gold shot up and the dollar crashed. I don't say crashed. The dollar came down noticeably. So they're in a corner. They've been in the corner a long time. If they stop printing, all the markets are going. Gold would probably survive and go up, but it might just go in sympathy for a while. But they can't. They can make all the noise they want to, but they're stuck. No one wants these things. No one wants these treasury bills. There's been so much going on in the financial markets, not even behind the scenes, if you're aware of what's going on, but India, China, Brazil. These people don't want any more U.S. debt, and they're not buying it. And so what happens? Well, the Fed's the buyer of last resort, and that is inflationary, and it will hit the markets at some point. In fact, the bond market has already started to decline, meaning interest rates are going up, and this is not good for the debt markets. And that trend, I think, is going to continue.
China's central bank officials, towards the end of last week, once again floated the notion of a new gold-backed reserve currency. We're seeing more and more countries around the world trading with each other in their own currency rather than going through the U.S. dollar. It seems to me that the only people who are cheering on Ben Bernanke and his printing press are folks up there on Wall Street and the politicians, because other than that, everybody looks to me like they are beginning to reject the U.S. dollar wholesale.
Exactly. You added on to my point or said it more succinctly. That's exactly the case. So it's a political thing, and it's the petrodollar. You have to pay for oil in dollars, and this is ending. And as this ends, there's going to be an alternative. It will either be an alternative currencies, basket of currencies, or some type of gold backing. Normally in history, it's some type of gold backing. And the BRICS are basically forming their own bank. And this bank is going to be available to do settlement. And the settlement might be for oil. and that settlement also includes some gold. So there is definitely a split coming in who is at the top of the pyramid. And it's not necessarily the Anglo-American empire that it's been for the last 100 years, basically from the formation of the Federal Reserve. And it's basically London and Wall Street acting in cohorts. And this is ending, and it will not end well. So people have got to be aware, they got to be awake, and they've got to, also look at really what happened in the gold and silver markets. I mean, these things were taken down very abruptly on huge volume, but all that volume was a fiction. This is volume that was made up, what's called naked short selling. This is a bunch of paper flying out, or electric digits, really, flying into the financial system, where the COMEX has the most control, that and the London Bullion Management Association, and they take the price down. But the physical market is resisting this paper price. In other words, people that are aware are lining up to buy gold at these levels and lining up to buy silver at these levels because they know that these are bargain prices and they won't last forever.
Do you think when the FOMC gets together, they'll discuss the fact that the rest of the world is starting to reject the U.S. dollar?
Well, I think they've been asking that for some time. And, of course, it's kind of the government force. I mean, it's basically the U.S. military that was run by the intellectual class of the establishment, which was basically going all the way back to Henry Kissinger, that made a deal with the Saudis saying, look, we'll keep you in power. We'll give you our military force. You just have to agree to accept only U.S. dollars for payment in oil. And that went on years ago, and that's been maintained. But it's breaking down. I think they're very aware of it, and I think they do discuss it.
Okay, they're aware of it. It's gaining momentum. I mean, not a fortnight goes by that we don't hear of some other minor break away from the dollar, and yet they continue to print the money. What do you think their logic is in doing that?
They have no way out. I think there's also some arrogance, hubris involved. I think that since the politicians and the military are tied together, that they're rather proud of the fact that, Saddam Hussein, who once was on their payroll and put in power by them, they took him out because he was talking about accepting the euro in payment of oil. Well, he's gone. Gaddafi is looking at a gold-backed currency of the dinar for payment of oil. He's wiped out. So I think it's like, well, we're the bullies. We can take care of business. We can do whatever we need. We're going to maintain power. But that is not, in my view, going to last forever, and it's slipping away. So even the Saudis, you don't know what's going on behind closed doors there either. They might be giving up on the dollar themselves, or they might be getting a better deal with China, or they might be getting a better deal with one of the other BRICS. Maybe they're going to get payment in gold. They certainly love to be paid in gold, so they're very gold-oriented. So who knows what's really going on exactly. We know fundamentally what's happening. Rejection of the dollar. The Anglo-American empire is on the wane. The East is building, and that there's a huge split between who's really going to have power in the future. Is it going to be the Anglo-American empire? Or is it going to be the BRIC nations?
Okay, well, we're out of time already. I've been speaking with David Morgan of the Morgan Report. David, we got about 10 seconds. Give me your email address.
It is support@silver-investor.com.
Support@silverinvestor.com. David, I appreciate it, guy.
You're welcome.